Welcome to Norfolk Perspectives. I'm Bob Batcher, and I think we went forward a couple of weeks ago on time, which meant you changed the battery in your fire alarm or smoke alarm, right? Well, maybe not. So now's the time to do something about it. And Assistant Chief Robert Sales, Norfolk Fire Rescue, how you doing?
I'm good, Bob. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Okay, let's just between us. How many do you think actually changed the battery when we went through the time change? Be honest now.
You know, it's hard. Most of us are procrastinators by nature anyway, so I would say maybe 50%.
Yeah. I see. Mine's hooked up through the alarm system, so I don't have to worry about it, right?
Well, a lot of residents have hardwired, what we call hardwire systems, but they still have a battery backup in them, and you really have to be diligent about making sure that you change that battery when it gets low.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot again.
Uh-oh.
How many people do you think that are watching this may not have a smoke alarm to put a new battery in?
Well, some of the data that we have suggests that probably in the neighborhood of 15% of the citizens of Norfolk don't have a smoke detector at all.
So if you're guilty with a bunch of other people.
Absolutely.
And you guys are doing something about that.
Right. We
Redeeming guilt, is that what you're doing?
Well, we want to do something about the fire safety aspect of it. You know, obviously, you know, the data shows us that fatalities and fires in the city of Norfolk probably occur in 40% of the houses that either have no working detector or no detector whatsoever. So that 40% is the ones that we're really trying to bring those numbers down. Obviously, any fatality is one that we don't want to have, but certainly if we can reach those people that don't have a detector or aren't aware that maybe their detectors aren't functioning, then if we can get to those people, we expect that we can improve those numbers greatly.
Now, how are you finding those people?
Well, about 2002, the state had a program called Get Alarmed Virginia. And we kind of dovetailed into that. That particular program, they gave us 3,000 smoke detectors, and they said, you know, go forth and hit these target audiences. And those households would have been households that had children under 5 or adults over the age of 65. They had a high demographic for fatalities and fires. We changed that up a little bit to try to serve the citizens better, and basically said, you know, anybody who wants a free smoke detector, you know, we'll come out and we'll install one for you for free. Here, as of March of this year, we took another step forward, I think is a step forward anyway, and we said, you know, let's see if we can't target and hit every single family residence within the city of Norfolk and at least offer them a smoke detector. You know, whether they have one or whether one's working or not, we're going to offer it. And they can check, you know, while we're there, and we'll install one, you know, give them a free detector and install it for free. So that's every single family residence in the city of Norfolk. You know, our goal is to have them installed in about 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, do I have to call somebody to get one, or how does that work?
Okay, we actually show up, you know, in the neighborhoods. You know, we have some criteria by which we pick the neighborhoods that we'll show up in, but we're looking to get them all. The priorities would be, you know, neighborhoods where we might have had a recent fire. But regardless, we're going to show up in all neighborhoods within the next 3 years, and we're going to ask you when we knock on the door if you have a smoke detector and can we install one if you don't. If you're not home, then we leave a door hanger, and that door hanger has the information for any place that you can call. Any place within the department that you can call, and we'll come out, you know, based on a time of your convenience, and go ahead and install that detector.
You know, what I was thinking about setting this up is we're not really talking about smoke detectors. We're really talking about being proactive and possibly saving a life. Absolutely.
I mean, that is the overarching goal for us in the fire department. That is our mission to to protect lives and property.
Now, to be very candid, I mean, smoke alarms are something that are not required by permit, right? Or is there a law that says you have for that person that wants to wait for a law to be passed?
Right.
Is there a rule that says you have to have a smoke?
If you're at a single family residence, you know, no. The bottom line is no. There's not a law, you know, at least not at this time. And but if you are an owner of an apartment complex that has 3 or more units in it, yes, you are required to install those detectors.
So which means if you're a renter in one of those units and you look up and don't see one, you better contact your landlord, right?
If you're a renter in a single-family residence, we'll do it.
Okay.
You know, we're not going to deny you. In fact, I would go as far as to say that if you're in an apartment and you really have a concern, we're not going to deny you that either. But by law, the landlords that have 3 or more units are required to have smoke detectors.
Now, the smoke detector you're providing is a basic.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's what we call an ionization detector, which is a very good quality detector. And it's a basic unit, and we will put those in for free.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now, we do have some other models that, in case you're hearing impaired as an example, that have the strobe lights on them that give you a visual as well as an audio indication that you might have trouble as far as the fire is concerned.
Now, Chief, I got to tell you, you're on this show because you're big chief, Chief Jeff Wise.
Absolutely.
This is an important program to him. I mean, he called and said, we need to get out, we need to get the word out. We want to give away smoke detectors.
Yeah,
Call Robert.
I have to say he's pretty good about that. His drive is about serving, and he makes sure that all the people working under him have that same fire, for lack of a better term, to get that job done. So absolutely, he's one progressive chief, and I think most of the department loves him to death.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I've got to speak to the viewer and say, if you've got an excuse for not having a working smoke detector, it's a lousy excuse. Do something about it. Get a smoke detector. Save a life. It might be yours. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
When we come back, I think red shoes might be in my life. I don't know. Find out. Stay tuned.